Okay, so today I just want to rant about feelings because today there were too many feelings going around. Not mine, somebody else's. And they're just annoying. Like how can someone sit there and talk about feelings for 20, 30 minutes after I've already explained that I don't have any feelings? I mean, I do have a small percent of feelings. Like things that make me feel. Like, let's say I had a vision, and that my vision for the world, was for everyone in the world to hold up a red gummy bear in their hand. Let's make it specific and say their right hand. So everyone in the world had to have a red gummy bear, and I wish I had a red gummy bear because that would make the example here even better. But I don't, so I will continue with the example here. Let's say that everyone had a red gummy bear, and it was in their right hand, and they were holding it up in the sky, and they were chanting, "I have a red gummy bear, and the world is awesome." That's my vision. Let's say I'm just making something up weird to prove a point. Let's say that was my vision. And then I woke up one day and went on YouTube and saw some video where there was a city, and there was like 1,500 people that lived in the city, and that was it. That was like the whole city. And the entire city was out in the middle of the street, downtown, in that village, almost is what it is, holding up a red gummy bear, and they're like, "The world is awesome." That would be the only thing that would get me to shed a tear. Because that was my dream. My dream occurred. Like, whether I instigated it or not, I probably didn't. It was just that I was thinking of it, and it was probably somebody else in the world, 6 billion people. Highly statistically speaking, somebody else is thinking exactly what you're thinking at the exact moment that you're thinking it. Just statistically, I can't even say the word. Statistically speaking, somebody else is thinking exactly what you're thinking right now. Guarantee it. There's probably also like 400,000 people having sex at this exact moment. Probably more than that. I don't know. I haven't really actually sat down and done the math on it. But if I actually did sit down and do the math on it, it's probably a lot of people. There's probably like 1,400 people getting in a car accident in Alaska right now. Well, maybe not that many. That's a little. That's quite a lot. But regardless, all of this stuff, relating it back to feelings. The only thing that's going to make me shed a tear is seeing a large sum of people relate to the ideas that are in my head, or sharing some kind of experience that I either created myself or was involved with some way that I believed in. The rest of this stuff, like, this is how I feel about you, this is, I wish you would feel this way, this blah 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 blah, is boring. I lose interest. Is there television on I can watch that has something interesting where I can tune out? Can I go on YouTube and post my feelings? Because I'm not really posting my feelings. I'm posting what I'm thinking about. I don't... It's not that I don't understand your feelings. They're just irrelevant. What does your feelings have to do... Alright, here's a real sensitive subject for some people, and even a great example. Japan. They had an earthquake, 8.9. Huge earthquake, that's big. Tsunami follows and, hits half the freaking country. People die. I don't know how many people died. At least, I think the first number I heard was like 1,000. It's probably a lot more than that now. All these people suffering, dying, their house is destroyed, I mean, if you go on YouTube, you can watch all these videos. And I'm not sitting there cringing while I'm watching them. You know, I'm like, to me, that's like watching the Nature Channel, and then there's two animals like killing each other. Like, I don't feel for the animal that's getting killed. You know what I mean? I say, you know, I think about the power that involves that is involved in that situation. Like, that lion just kicked the shit out of that hyena. Too bad the hyena's friends weren't around, because that lion just dominated that other thing. The hyena. You shouldn't have been laughing at the lion. That's all I'm saying. But you know, getting back to the Japan thing, that shit happens all the time. All that's happening anytime now is just there's just more people that have phones with cameras or other devices with cameras in it. You know, whatever else they got on them. There's just more people that have cameras. It's a fact. So you're seeing this giant, you know, recording of the event almost instantaneously as it's happening. I mean, there are still. I mean, I have this little app on my phone that just spits out. It doesn't give me alerts or anything, but I can open up the app and it'll tell me all the major earthquakes to a setting. So, like, if it's greater than 5.0, it shows up on the list. And usually, like, I'll get like 1 or 2 a day for the whole world. Like, there's like some little, I don't know, I think it's underwater actually, somewhere in the South Pacific. There's an earthquake there like every day. But when the Japan thing happened, there was 5 or 6 5.0 plus, I'd call them tremors. I mean, there aren't really earthquakes, but you can feel a 5.0 earthquake. I've felt a 5.3 or something like that. Actually, I think it was a 4. And I think I've felt it, but it was real vague. It feels like a truck driving by. But if you get up into the 5, it starts to shake a bit. So there was 5 or 6 of those, about 5 to 6 hours before the 8.9. The 8.9 came out of nowhere and just demolished the crap out of, you know, whatever was close to it. Now, the tidal wave took a little while to destroy all these places. Now, the thing is, in my mind, I don't sit there and talk about, like, I don't feel empathy for these people. Like, it just does not happen. What I think about is nature just kicked their ass. Now, I mean, it's not about like saying, there's a group of humans and they're gonna fight back or something like that. There's nothing to fight back about. You just have to understand that nature is huge. It is much bigger than you. And your minuscule feelings about I can't even bring up an example. It's so irrelevant. Like, this stuff could be on a television show, like a movie. It could be fake, and you wouldn't even know. Like, and it would still affect a person that has strong, like, feelings. It would still affect them, even though it was fake. Now, the Japan thing was real, I'm saying, but to me, whether it's a movie or whether it is real, it's still the same perception of watching that event occur. And I guarantee other people that are NT types understand what I'm saying. But if you have these are the people, I don't know, it just seems that those are that are S and F, especially strong S's or strong F's. The S's will attempt to tear apart my, you know, bullet point, you know, addressee of, you know, items, because I'm pulling them straight out of my thoughts, while they are pulling them from experience and things that they've read in a book. And I'm like, what if the book's wrong? What? Why are you blindly leading your life through a book? And then the F's are like, but there's people dying. Oh my God. It's the end of the world. No, it's not. It is the world. Accept it. Figure it out. Some of these people, they just can't. They can't. They just cannot do it. It just does not. It doesn't come natural to them. I don't want my video to get super long, so I'm going to try and contemplate what I want to wrap up with. I mean, I could watch the tsunami stuff. I could watch the stuff all day on YouTube. It is amazing to me. It is not like. All right, I'll end with this. I just this just popped in my head. This when the whole 9/11 thing happened. 9/11, blah blah blah. 9/11. I was actually in college. I was in school. I was taking classes, whatever. But I was on a break. It was like a 2-week break between like summer and fall. So I was actually at my parents' house then, sleeping in like an extra spare bed because they had already converted my bedroom into like some, extra room that I couldn't sleep in because there was no bed there anymore. So I'm sleeping in this bunk bed with like grandma sheets and whatever. But whatever. It was like, that thing happened at 10 a.m. in the morning. I was still sleeping. And like my ecstatic, super feeling mother like runs in and is like, "Oh my God, the World Trade Centers are just collapsed." And I'm half awake. Like, what are you talking about? Go back to sleep. And I did. I didn't. So what? Shit happens. Deal with it. I went back to sleep. Woke up 2 hours later, and then, I turned on the television, started trying to figure it out, But that's the whole point. I tried to figure it out. I didn't sit there and panic. I didn't panic about my feelings. Because the feelings just aren't there. I'm not cold. There's plenty of people like me. And it's part of the reason I made this channel. There are plenty of people just like me that are not cold. They're not antisocial. Or, they're not assholes. They're just people with opinions that the majority, don't agree with. And we're very opinionated. Some of us. And we'll speak our minds. For lack of empathy. We don't care. It's not that we don't care. We do care. The reason that we are speaking to you is because we do care. And I guess I'll end on that. That's a good ending. Comment below, please. I want to hear your opinions about my rant at 8 p.m. on a Saturday after watching a Cubs game in spring training in Mesa when it was 90 degrees. Great weather today. Sorry if it's snowing where you are in March. Anyways, comments.